Hello fellow board gamers, and I'm quite sure that many of you are beer drinkers as well. Welcome to my first unboxing video. Despite being a board gamer for quite a few years, this is the first time that I've decided to do an unboxing video. And the reason is kind of obvious when you look at the title of the game. I love craft beer. I also enjoy brewing my own beer. So when this game came about, it was a no-brainer to go out and get this game. And at the time when I decided to back this on Kickstarter, I made the promise to myself then that I would do an unboxing video for this game. It's a game designed by Ben Rosset. It's published by Dice Hate Me Games. Alright, this game is about running your own brewery. And if you can't do it in real life, this is the way to go. Play it in a board game. Now, I had an opportunity to play this game at Gen Con this past summer, the prototype version, and my overall impression was this is a blast. It's a very deep worker placement game. It's not weighty, it's not complex, but it's just deep. And I typically am not crazy about worker placement games, and maybe it's a theme about this one, but this game just has everything clicking. The prototype version I played, of course, had all the prototype pieces, so very flimsy cardboard, flimsy pieces of paper. But let's take a look at the back of this box. You'll see that as I flip the box over, it's kind of shiny because I've not taken the cellophane wrapping off this yet. Like I said, I got to play the prototype version back at Gen Con, but I have not seen the published version yet. So as I unwrap this for the very first time, you'll get to see it with me. But first, let's take a look at the back of the box. You'll see all those pieces and bits that I was talking about are displayed here in the back of the box. What do you have in here? Well, we're going to open it up and see, of course, but you got worker cards, upgrade tiles, market action boards, the brewery themselves, beer batch tokens, you got laboratories, more markers, tokens, recipe cards. So this game has got quite a bit in it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to weigh it here in a couple seconds. It's for ages 13 and up, 2 to 5 players, and it says 30 minutes per player. Of course, for the first couple plays, that will probably be quite a bit longer. Actually, before I open the cellophane, let's put this on a scale and see how much this game weighs. It is a hefty game. I bet it's up there in the board game weight range. 4 pounds. Comes in just shy over 4 pounds. Typical game is probably between the 2.5 to 3.5 pound range. So this breaks the 4 pound barrier. There are several other games, of course, full-size board games that are in the 4 pound range, but this is on the high end. So I'll be anxious to open this up and see what this has inside. Alright, pull out my trusty X-Acto knife, and let's take a look here and see what we got. Alright, that should help with the glare a little bit more. And let's take off the lid. Unfortunately, you can't smell the new game the way I can, but you'll take care of that when you go out and buy your own copy, I'm sure. Alright, cardboard. Not the strongest cardboard. It's your average box. Nothing really terribly sturdy about it, but it's not really flimsy either. Alright, enough about the box. Alright, let's take a look and see what we have inside here. We've got a bag full of our ingredient cubes and also some meeples. Oh, and I hate meeples, but that's a whole different conversation. Let me push the box aside here for a second, and we'll take a look exactly and see what we have. Alright. Okay. Well, this is a nice pint glass. Looks like a stout. And this, if my memory serves me from when I did play it back at Gen Con, I think this is the start player token. So nice wooden token. No cheap plastic. I like that. Okay. You have ingredients cubes. This represents one of the ingredients. If my memory serves me, I think it's the malt. Brown cubes. Got a bag of the green cubes. I think this represents the hops. Yellow cubes represents the yeast. Orange cubes, red cubes, and other colored cubes. Really testing my memory, but I think they represent the different special ingredients that you can put in your beer. You know, herbs and fruit and other flavorings that you can put in your beer. Oh, black cubes too. I don't remember what the black cubes are for, but got them. So you have enough wooden cubes, and then your bag of meeples. As far as I'm concerned, they can stay in the bag, but unfortunately you need them to play the game. Alright, let's see what else we got. Speaking of bags, this is a nice little touch. The publisher put in a whole bunch of plastic bags. I love to organize my games, and I mainly do it using plastic bags. So I'm glad to see that he included these, or that the publisher put these bags in so that we don't have to go out and buy our own. That's a nice touch. Alright, the recipe cards. Now we're talking. Now we're getting someplace. Typically I would be a little bit more careful when I do that because I have cut open cellophane wrapping around decks of cards before and actually cut into a card or two in the past doing that. Alright, so here we got the recipe cards. Looks like a 1968 Black and Brew, a porter. Old Lang Syne Ale. Well, that's a fitting since I'm doing this on New Year's Day. Better Bitter Coffee Stout. I like stouts. I like ales. Actually, I like all beers. I started off in my virgin beer drinking days liking stouts and the darker beers, but now I've gone in the other direction, and now I love IPAs, so go figure. Alright, so we have all sorts of different recipes. And I'm hoping that my camera is focusing on that. Essentially, you get the idea. You're not going to run short in this game of different recipes to brew. Recipes have got the list of, take a look at this Simply Stout. So this says that you need, in order to brew this recipe and to score the victory points for it, you're going to need to have 4 cubes of grain, 2 cubes of hops, and 1 cube of yeast. Spitfire Cinnamon Porter. Actually, that sounds like a great recipe I would like to brew in real life. Alright, well, I can go on here all day talking about the different recipes that come in the game. Actually, just looking at these cards is getting me thirsty to start brewing a whole new batch. Alright, put these aside. Alright, now we got our skilled workers. As with a lot of other worker placement games, your skilled workers give you a special benefit that you can use to augment the resources that your workers earn for you. Like, for instance, here's the barley grower. Take 1 malt immediately. In addition to planting 2 items as normal, you may plant 1 malt in your farm each spring. Harvest 5 malt in the fall. So this basically helps multiply malt that you need in order to push your recipes through the brewery. Barrel House Manager. Brewmaster. Alright. This is everyone's dream job, right? When you brew 2 batches at a time, you take 1 reputation. When you brew 3 batches at a time, you take 3 reputation. And reputation, I mean, this is not a review of the game itself. It is only a box opening video, but reputation is one of the ways that you earn what you need in order to win the game. Brewpub Manager. Now, there's another good job to have. Take 1 rep for each new batch brewed in the brewpub. Also, you get to store 6 ingredients there. Chemist. Events Planner. Farmer. Holiday Help. hops buyer, hops converter, hops expert, logistics coordinator. Nothing ever gets done without them. Malt buyer, malt converter, malt importer, market helper, mass specialist, purchaser, storage coordinator, tasting room manager. All right, there's a job I want too. Game end, score rep equal to the value of your tasting room. So the more valuable, of course, you make your tasting room, the more reputation you're going to gain. So there's a good job. Yeast lab technician, coffee roaster. I didn't go through the ones here at the top of the deck, but advanced ingredient importer, architect. I think actually that's the designer himself. That's Ben. Barley grower, okay, I already went through that. Barrel house manager. All right, so these are all the special jobs you have. Obviously, this is not a simple worker placement game with a theme thrown on top. It's very obvious that the theme of this game has been built into it, has been built into the design from the very beginning. Just the depth of the different kinds of jobs that you can employ in your brewery just goes to show that. So, man, I'm already looking forward to playing this. All right, what's the rest of the cards we have here? All right, good. Player aids cards. You never have enough player aid cards as far as I'm concerned. So each player aid card has a front and a back. Enough of those for 5 players. Okay, some more jobs down there at the bottom of the deck. Coffee roaster, spices importer, or 2 copies of the spices importer. All right, and we get to the rules. Euro ingredients, American finish. Well, that's interesting. I don't have any comment about that. Okay, the rules. I like the way that the rule book, my very initial impression. So I like the way that the rule book is laid out. Looks like it lays it out in the phases in which you play the game. Doesn't look like that this book requires a lot of flipping back and forth. Details about brewery actions. Get to that in a second. Optional complex actions. And frequently asked questions. It's always good to see a rule book that has got enough play testing behind it that it already has a list of facts that it puts in there. We're looking forward to that. All right, now let's take a look at the cardboard. A board game wouldn't be a board game without at least some cardboard, right? Okay, I'm going to flip the box over. Oh, all right, look at that. Look at that. All right. Good thing I worked out today. There's some heavy cardboard here. 3 3/4 pounds worth. All right, let's see what we have. First, let's do a thickness measurement of the cardboard. You know, you go on Board Game Geek and one of the complaints that people have is something's too thin or something's too thick. And it seems like games are always, the quality of a game is always measured by the thickness of the cardboard. So let's actually go and do that. So the cardboard is 1/16 of an inch. So how many sheets we have here that need to be punched out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's a piece already. 7, 8. And those are mats. So 8 cardboard sprues of tokens and pieces that need to be punched. So let's see what we have here. Looks like we got some more money. The money is also cardboard chits, loan markers, brewery upgrades, batches of beer that you can brew. So I'm just going to toss that aside. Probably will end up punching out a couple pieces just in the middle of doing this. Again, another repeat. Here's a token for when you've brewed a blackberry stout batch. More money, ingredients, I mean, I can go on and on. These are all upside down. Let me flip them over here. I can go on and on with all the pieces that are in here. I'm going to have some fun just keeping the game organized. And there is something at the end of this video about organizing the game, actually. Here's Mars IPA. Alright. And the second run for your second line, sorry, for your brewery. Golden Apple. So for those of you that like hard cider, you can brew an apple recipe. Cinnamon porter. So just some more cardboard chits. Here's some more of the recipes. You get one of these tokens each time that you push a recipe through your brewery. Cherry porter, barley wine, coffee stout. We have here imperial stout, smoked porter, espresso stout, honey porter. All right, so those are all the pieces. And now we got some boards that have our mats. These are the actual brewery, so each person will take a personal brewery of their own. So we should have 5 of those, and indeed we do. There's the 5th one, and then your laboratory. Like with other games of this nature, worker placement games, you're going to be advancing your workers up and down the laboratory track, and as you get deeper and deeper into the game, you're going to be able to gain more and more benefits. It's just a matter of where you put your workers during the game. So it should be 5 laboratories. Yep, there we go. This is the sheet of the last 2 laboratories. And then here we got the actions you take. So this is the center board where people compete with their workers for the different actions. Sometimes there's competition, sometimes you don't compete. And here's the other part of the board. And then the game runs in years. And so 3 years, I don't remember exactly how many turns there are or when the game ends. But each year is going to have a different, one of the four different seasons. And each season brings about an opportunity to perform different actions. So, and in the farm, if you invest in some farming actions, that will also reap you some benefits too in the game. All right, that is it. That is everything in the game. 2 more things to show you. If you are a Kickstarter backer, this came in the package, but packaged outside of the box. Obviously, you saw me take the cellophane off the box, and you did not see me pull this out. This is what is called the marketing expansion for the game, and it comes with 3 different recipe cards that you can use to replace the basic recipe cards in the game. So as you become more advanced, you use these cards to replace the basic ones in the game. And it also gives you another job, another person to hire. This is the marketing specialist. Gives you another person to hire for the game, for your game. At game end, you score 1 reputation for each gold label that you've collected. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to show you was something that I was pleasantly surprised to find in the package that my game was shipped in. It's a flyer from GameTrayz.com. They make game inserts that fit inside the original boxes for various games, where you can store all the pieces and bits that come with that game. So it looks like they've partnered with Dice Ate Me Games to make an insert for this game. You can see they have a tray. You can store all of your beer batch tokens and medals. Another tray you can store your various mats and upgrade cards. Looks like a pretty good deal. This did not come in the box, so of course it's not part of the box opening, but I did find it in my package, and I thought it was a pretty nice thing that the 2 companies got together to make this happen for us game players. So again, GameTrayz, looked them up. I talked to the people there, and they tell me that the ale red color tray is available only in January. It's 2015, ale red. So give them a look. All right, well, that does it for my first unboxing video. I hope you enjoyed it, but mostly I hope that you enjoy the game as much as I know that I will. Okay, have a great 2015. Take care. Bye.